Good evening. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for coming to tonight's Springfield Municipal Regional Planning Commission meeting Thursday, November the 6th. Item 1.2, Ms. Marlowe, will you call the order?
Baggett.
Here.
Bibb.
Here.
Boyd.
Here.
Briggs.
Here.
Gregg.
Here.
Moreland.
Here.
Schott. Thomas.
Here.
Townsend.
Here.
We have 8 present. There's a quorum.
Item 1.3, approval of the minutes from the regular meeting of the Planning Commission held on October the 2nd, 2025. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes. Item 1.4, public comment period. When I call your name, if you'll come to the microphone and state your name and address, and you'll have 2 minutes to address the commission. Clay Sneed, 106 Kenny's Road, Springfield, Tennessee.
Appreciate y'all. I've contacted everyone who I found the phone number, and thank y'all for coming out and looking at the property on site. It's very hard to understand what's going on over here from a piece of paper. I'm not sure what the city has told y'all about this piece of property, but I'll try to fill in. And got a piece of property, want to divide it. There's 2 issues with it. It's 50-foot road frontage. The city, when they annexed this property sometime back in the day, failed to maintain the road that used to be in front of it, and therefore there's no more visible road frontage in front of it. The second issue is it's at the end of a dead-end road. And years ago, I tried to get somebody here at the city, not just somebody, but multiple people, groups, to do something about addressing an ordinance creating a situation where we can drive off the end of dead-end roads property. Obviously, you can't get 50-foot road frontage at the end of a dead-end road. There's not too many of those situations in town, but after all these years, nobody's done anything about it, and I still got a piece of property at the end of a dead-end road. And I tried to give this property to the city to make a park, not a park, but a walking trail for the neighborhood to attach to the back of the cemetery. It's very pretty back in these woods. And I don't want these woods destroyed. It's too pretty. It's kind of like well, it just doesn't need to be destroyed back there against that cemetery. And, but I would like to do something with it, other than sell 3.5 acres for 1 building lot. I don't think anybody's going to have any concerns about driving off the end of the dead-end road. I'm sure you'll have some questions, and I'll be able to answer those as they come up.
Thank you, Mr. Sneed.
Okay.
Michael Crawley, 1904 Woolen Mills Way, Springfield, Tennessee. Mr. Crawley.
Thank you. I'm item 2.1. We originally purchased this property for our office before we purchased the Woolen Mills. Kind of redid a facelift on it, and we've had some interest for medical use, dentists and so on, and it doesn't fit in the CG, so we were hoping to rezone it to the CS. If there was any questions, I could answer those, but other than that, that's all.
Sir, thank you. 2.0, new business. Item 2.1, discuss and possibly take action on a rezoning request for a property at 2814 Memorial Boulevard from commercial general to commercial services to allow medical and professional services. Map 091L, Group A, parcel 036.00. Ms. Durham? We have a motion and a second to put this item on the floor.
Motion.
So moved.
Ms. Durham?
Good evening, Commissioners. This first item is a request to rezone approximately 2.15 acres at 2814 Memorial Boulevard from commercial general to commercial services to allow medical and professional offices. The property sits along one of Springfield's primary commercial corridors and is surrounded by similar service-oriented uses. The requested change aligns with the adopted comprehensive plan for growth, which encourages a mix of retail, office, and service uses along major roadways. All utilities and infrastructure are in place, and the rezoning will support continued commercial investment in this corridor. Staff recommends approval.
Does anyone have any questions on item 2.1? If not, do we have a motion?
Did you have a question?
No,
Oh,
no.
move to approve.
Second.
Ready for a vote?
Briggs,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Boyd,
Yes,
Bibb,
Yes.
Baggett,
Yes.
Townsend,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Moreland,
yes,
passes with 8.
Item 2.2, discuss and possibly take action on Blackwood Farms North and South Phase 1 Final Plat, map 69, parcel 071.01 and 073.00. Do we have a motion and a second to put this on the floor?
so moved.
Second.
Ms. Durham?
Before you is the request for approval of the final plat for Phase 1 of Blackwood Farms covering both the north and south portions of the project. The map shown here is the north side. This is the south side. These same plats were provided in your staff report. Phase 1 North includes 90 attached single-family units, while Phase 1 South contains 94 detached lots. This represents the first phase of a large planned residential community that will include amenities and a future greenway connection. The plat has undergone full staff review. Remaining items include finalizing the secondary access plan for the northern section. A plan for the southern portion was approved with the construction plans. And then there's a couple of label errors, particularly the water line in Blackwood was misrepresented. I believe it should be a 12-inch and it was labeled as a 10-inch. So it's just a typographical error. And then they still need to finalize the recording of their HOA documents, but they have adjusted the HOA and it reflects all of the staff's comments and requested additions. Staff recommends approval contingent on all staff comments being adequately addressed prior to recording.
Any questions for Ms. Durham?
You said they did adhere to all the requests for the,
The HOA,
HOA,
yeah,
mhm.
the HOA was very detailed.
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second? Mr. Townsend, do we have a second?
Second.
We're ready for a vote.
Okay. We got Moreland,
yes,
Bibb,
Yes.
Boyd,
yes,
Thomas,
Yes.
Baggett,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Townsend,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
passes with 8.
Item 2.3, discuss and possibly take action on a resolution amending the comprehensive growth plan for the city of Springfield, Tennessee to correct mapping errors on the future land use map. We have a motion and a second to put this item on the floor for discussion.
so moved.
Second.
Ms. Durham?
This item is a resolution to amend the comprehensive plan for growth to correct mapping errors on the future land use map. If you recall from last month's meeting, this is in response to the zoning on Highland Avenue. Was it Highland? 501 Highland. I don't remember if it's an avenue or a street. The amendment applies to 3 parcels, 501 North Highland Street, 500 Hayes Street, and 502 Hayes Street. These properties are currently used as residential but were mistakenly designated as appropriate for general commercial. The correction will change their designation to high-density residential, ensuring consistency between the plan, existing development, and recent commission recommendation. These are administrative updates, not policy changes, and staff recommends approval. When we did start looking at the map, we identified these 3 lots because they were adjacent. Well, it included the lot, but it was the other 2 that were adjacent in the same area. There are a lot of parcels throughout the city.
Yeah.
We recognize that there was some miscommunication between the consultant and the city zoning ordinance, that if somebody were to come back potentially with an MRO zoning, there are some places that we might have to look at the map again in relation to multiple residential office districts and the medical professional offices. There was some confusion between those two districts that we found in a few locations, but we wanted to make sure we clarified this section of the map because this was the part that was directly impacted at last month's meeting, which is why we're only showing the 3 parcels here and not multiple parcels throughout the city.
So you're only showing 3?
The ones
but
with the
there's more that
stars.
need to be corrected?
There potentially, yes.
Okay.
But it is administrative. In reviewing the whole process, it's not a long, drawn-out procedure. So should this be presented again in the future, and this commission agrees that they are errors that need to be corrected, we can go through this process again. This will go to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen as well, but it is administrative. It doesn't have to go back through the whole comp plan review process.
Any further questions?
We appreciate staff doing this because it makes great common sense.
I agree.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ready for a vote?
Thomas,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Bibb,
Yes.
Daggett,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Townsend,
Yes.
Boyd,
Yes.
Moreland,
Yes.
passes with 8.
Item 3.0 under old business. 3.1, discuss and possibly take action on a final plat for Evans Estates replat of Lot 2. We have a motion and a second to put this item on the floor.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Durham?
Item 3.1 is a request for final plat approval for the Evans Estates subdivision replat of Lot 2. The property owner, Mr. Clay Sneed, originally submitted this request in 2017 to divide an existing residential lot into 2 separate lots. The intent was to create a new lot, identified as Lot 24, at the rear of the existing parcel on Juanita Drive. During staff's review at that time, both the engineering and public works departments determined that the proposed new lot would not have direct access to a public right-of-way. Instead, the only potential access would be across CSX Railroad property located behind the site. Since CSX is private property and not a public right-of-way, that access does not satisfy the city's subdivision regulations. The Planning Commission deferred the request in 2017 and stated that the item could be reconsidered if the applicant obtained written documentation from CSX granting permanent access rights. To date, no such documentation has been provided to city staff, and the proposed plat remains unchanged from that original submittal. The city's subdivision regulations, as well as the Tennessee Code annotated Section 13.3.411, clearly require that all subdivision lots have access to a public street or a recorded public easement. This ensures that properties can be safely reached by emergency vehicles and that owners have legal ingress and egress to their land. Because the new lot fronts only the railroad, those standards are not met. Previously, in 2017, staff also considered whether a variance could be justified under Section 1-11 of the subdivision regulations, which allows relief from specific requirements in cases of unique hardship. In this instance, however, the hardship is not unique. It results from the lot's existing configuration and proximity to private railroad property rather than a condition beyond the owner's control. Without an access agreement in perpetuity from CSX, granting the subdivision could create liability for the city and result in an unbuildable landlocked parcel. For those reasons, staff continues to recommend denial of the request. This is consistent with the original 2017 staff recommendation and the city's subdivision and access standards. In summary, approval can be supported approval cannot be supported without verified legal access to a public right-of-way as required by city code and state law.
I'd like to ask Mr. Sneed a couple of questions.
Mr. Sneed.
Yes.
Now, in your comments during the public hearing, you stated about the dead-end road, which I'm assuming you're referring to as West Side?
West Side Drive, I only had 2 minutes. There's more to tell, but that's all I had time to talk about
Right, well,
on
2
site.
minutes is 2 minutes, so.
Well, I asked everybody to come out and look at it on site. I could tell you more.
My question to you regarding West Side Drive, is there any possibility of getting access to West Side Drive?
I have access to West Side Drive now, just like the 4 or 5 houses that are right beside me.
Is it recorded access, or is it an easement?
I have the same access that the 4 or 5 houses next to me have.
Well, 911 West Side, actually, does West Side Drive go all the way down in front of 911?
It does.
It does?
It does.
And does that not butt up to your property?
His corner and my corner meet. That's at the end of that is the end of the dead-end road. And if you drive to the end of the dead-end road, you just continue and you're on my property.
And my question would be, why is that not public access? Is it
Well, it's
possible-
because of the 50-foot road frontage issue that I've asked years ago that somebody, some board, some individual take care of the few situations in town where you have a road at the end of a dead-end road or land at the end of a dead-end road.
But if you
And-
extend West Side Drive at your expense onto your property, then that West Side Drive will extend onto your property, is that correct?
People have been driving off the end of that road onto this land for decades.
But does
And
it dead end at your property line, or does it dead end prior to your property line in front of 911?
Well, as I said in my 2 minutes, when the city annexed it, the road went from Fifth Avenue all the way to Richard Street. And the city failed to maintain the road as it went through. And the guy I bought it from came to see David years ago, if you can remember, and told him that.
Well, I wasn't part of that, so no, I
Well,
don't.
there's a lot of history to it. So the road was abandoned. I can't help it that the city didn't maintain the road all the way to Richard Street, but we've got a dead-end road. There's a few in town with this situation. No one's addressed trying to fix that. I can't get 50-foot road frontage. And I did get permission from the railroad to get an easement across. But I also asked, since it was brought up, I did ask to see the same easements that have been granted by this board, by the city, for other businesses and locations in this town for that same access. I've never seen a document for the situations I asked about. Everybody's wanting papers, everybody's wanting hard copies of this permission from me. But other people are getting it with just,
Well, but we're talking about your property is what we're
but
discussing.
I'm trying to keep it comparative.
Well, what my question is, according to the plat, which is what I'm looking at, it says the property that is at the end of your property belongs to a Mr. Grimes.
He's 911. He sold that. He sold it to the guy that was renting
I
from
mean,
me.
I'm assuming this is the 2017 document, 2017
That's
plat?
right. Tim Groves owns it now.
Okay.
The owner, he passed, and his heirs sold it to the guy that was renting there. He's still there.
I mean, from a planning standpoint, if West Side Drive butted up to the end of your property, then you have road frontage. You have 50 feet of road going into your property. Is that not correct?
The road is, the entire road, West Side Drive, is on railroad property. The actual railroad property goes up into the yards of all the houses that are next to me. The whole road,
Is that the issue?
utilities are in the railroad right away.
He does not have access, he does not abut The backside of their property, where he wants to create the second lot, does not abut legal road access, legal public right of way.
And that's because the road was abandoned. But it's the same access that we drive off the end of that road, the same road.
Understand, but
that
is
these
West Side
houses-
Drive a city street?
It is a city street, but it's on the railroad right of way.
That's irrelevant.
But
If
she's
it's a
bringing
city
up the
street.
liability of driving on railroad property. I'm wanting to do the same thing that my next door neighbors are doing.
Well, and, because I'm coming in midway of this, so my question would
Well-
be about, what's right and what's right, what's wrong, what's wrong.
Right.
If you legally don't have 50-foot proper, right-of-way to a public street, then you can't do what you want to do. It's no different than it was then. I don't understand the right-of-way of West Side Drive and how it affects the railroad.
Well, you're asking about 50-foot road frontage. The city abandoned the road when they annexed it because the last house was Grimes.
You're talking about I'm talking about West Side Drive where it currently ends, which is
I
a
can't
city
help the city
street.
stop paving the road right there. I mean, that's just the last house that was there. But when you drive off the end of the pavement, you veer to the right and you're on my property. But as you go up that road, you veer to the right to the first house. You go up the road on railroad property, you veer to the right to the next house. You do it for all the houses through there. I'm just asking
I
for
know,
the same
Clay, but if
access.
the road ends before it gets to your property, then you
No,
don't have
it
right
goes
of
to
way.
my property.
Pardon?
It goes to my property.
The road, the paved road,
I mean, if we'd gone out there and looked at it, we could see it, but I'm telling you, the road goes to the end of 9/11, and that's as far as it needs to go. His driveway is on my side of his property. His driveway's not to one side of his property or in the middle. His driveway is all the way at the very, as far as you can go.
all I'm looking at is an aerial and an old plat. I couldn't come out there and
I
look
called
at it.
everybody's number I had. It's very hard to look at a piece of paper and see what the situation is.
If you had a current plat showing where the actual end of West Side Drive is, then I might be able to. That's not a plat.
I
This
don't,
is your plat from 2017, correct?
I mean, I can't help what the city's provided y'all about documentation about the road. She's arguing
This
about,
is that.
she's arguing that the road's not there. I mean, that'd be on them telling you that the road doesn't go that far.
What type of documentation did she ask you for? Have you been asked for since
Well,
2017?
One, a lease, a property to lease. Basically a lease or buy the property. But the railroad won't sell property, they won't consider selling property unless it's $100,000 value. But they told me I could lease it, but it was so much red tape. But the woman who provides these leases, she came out, I work for the railroad. She came to my house. We walked out there and looked at it. And she had a tablet in her hand. And I asked her, where's the leases for X, Y, Z? And she looked in her tablet.
Mr.
She
Sneed,
said they don't have
that's
leases.
irrelevant.
She don't have leases.
That's irrelevant.
It's comparative. I want to be treated the same.
Yes, sir, you are being treated the same.
But
Any
I'm being
further questions
asked,
for
I'm being
Mr.
asked for
Sneed?
hard copies. And the woman had a tablet and showed no leases for the comparative.
Any
Well, we're
further
not in the
questions?
leasing business as an organization. What we have to determine is whether or not you have 50-foot road
You
frontage.
can't do that at the end of a dead-end road. But I'm driving off of it now, have been for decades.
Access and a road are two different, you can cut down a tree and cut a hole in a fence road and you got access.
You just gotta go out there and look at it.
Any further questions?
Yes. I saw it, so if the West Side Drive continued down, let's call it 20 feet, would that not let you put a driveway to the right and build over in the area that you're talking about?
Well, I suggested that I build the road down through there. I mean, we'd have to get a contractor and see what the price would be. But how much would it cost to extend the road? But I mean, I just want my driveway to connect to the end of the dead-end road.
If the road continued down, Ms. Durham, enough that his driveway could shoot across, could that work?
He doesn't have
I'll be honest,
access.
I don't know for sure, but my understanding of West Side Drive is that there is no public right-of-way there because the entire roadway sits in the CSX property.
That's correct.
So there's still no legal access to right-of-way. The lot as it currently exists has frontage on Juanita. So the lot is a legal lot. It's just subdividing it creates a situation for that back half, that back half then doesn't have legal
And
access.
it's currently one lot.
It is currently one lot. So extending the pavement doesn't give it right-of-way, which is the issue.
So the city has an illegal street.
I have no idea. I don't know
Would that
the
be-
true situation
Would
on
that be a
that.
correct statement, Mr. Engineer?
The city has a road, an asphalt road there that's been there since before probably you and I were born. So the railroad is, you know, that would have been back when L&N owned it. So CSX is not saying the road can't be there and can't be maintained. But what we're saying is the subdivision.
Does the city
The
currently
subdivision
maintain?
Regulations
West
require
Side
a
Drive?
public access, and to have a public access, you have to have a 50-foot right-of-way that the city
Does the city
dedicated.
currently maintain West Side Drive?
To my knowledge, they can maintain the asphalt.
Where was the train derailment years ago?
That was in Waverly, wasn't it?
No, I'm talking about right there.
I have no idea.
You're old enough to remember.
I don't know. You know, I don't know that I'm
Was it
that
on your
old.
property that you currently own, or was it on the houses before?
Mr. Grimes told me that it would run right to the east of his house, and they burned coal that scattered down the bank for 4 years.
It's a blessing.
Any further questions on this?
I've got just one, and this may be for the city staff or Mr. Sneed. Have we explored like a access easement off Juanita?
He
That would
has
go
that,
down?
but he's wanting to subdivide into 2 lots.
Right, but could he not get an access easement that's recorded on the plat that gives access to lot 2? Or
Unfortunately,
lot 1?
unfortunately, no. The lot, his access is 40 feet in the cul-de-sac, 50 foot at the setback. You have to have another 50 foot.
Okay, that's what I'm asking, yeah.
So he doesn't have
You
enough
can't
there.
overlap them that way
Yeah.
and have it recorded. Okay.
You're good. Any further questions?
Mr. Chairman, based on the information that we have, which hasn't changed, I see no way that we can approve something that's illegal until the owner of the property comes up and shows on a plat that he has public right-of-way access coming from wherever. In my personal opinion, it looks like the best way to get that is coming off of West Side Drive if it is a current street maintained by the city. What's one more lot? I move that we deny it.
Do we have a
Isn't that what I said?
Yes, sir. Do we have a second?
Till he can come back with proof.
Second.
We're ready for a vote.
Gregg,
No.
Thomas,
It's a yes. I'm voting to deny.
Boyd,
Yes.
Bibb,
Yes.
Moreland,
Yes.
Baggett,
Yes.
Townsend,
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Passes with a deny by 7.
Item 4.0, other business. 4.1, the November BZA meeting will be rescheduled following this meeting. Item 4.2 is the Community Development Director's Report. Ms. Durham?
We don't have a whole lot to report this month. As always, if you want to do a work session on anything, I'm always open to scheduling that. We haven't approved anything notable in the last month. We're working through submittals. Notable submittals for December. Summit View Phase 2 is coming back before this board. They have formally rescinded their request for R7 PUD and replaced it with an R10 PUD, which the R10, as we discussed at the last meeting, is in agreement with the comprehensive plan. So we are working through staff reviews on that, and that will be before you next month. We have a Highway 41 North rezoning. It's a small parcel that is in the urban growth boundary, but it is not in the city limits. But this board will need to make a recommendation to the county. And then I believe the 2209 Ruth Street is actually being pulled. I don't have confirmation on that 100% yet, but I talked to Steve Art's office the other day, and they said it likely wasn't moving forward. Things that are happening, the Capitol Theater, work is starting to happen on that, so we're all excited about that. And I think I'll have a planner by the next meeting, so there will be some more office staff working through these submittals. We do have a couple more submittals that have been submitted lately, but I'm not sure there are items that will come before this board. So, but things that are more commercial stuff. We're seeing more commercial than residential right now. So that's all I have.
Any questions for Ms. Durham?
Does your planner has planning experience?
My planner is highly motivated and has a lot of perseverance. And I'm hoping can be trained. It is, yes. We'll go with, the planner will have a little bit of a planning learning curve. But they will, I feel like they will be very successful right from the very beginning in some of the zoning code enforcement, which is something that I have not had the time to get out and do. And I know there's a lot of issues throughout town, just things that we could clean up a little bit, that if I had some staff to help me do that, we could focus on that.
Have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Ms. Boyd with a
Second.
second.